Can Lake Chad rise again? Let me tell you about a lake that is dying, and a chance that may never come again. Lake Chad. Decades ago, it was one of the largest lakes in the world. 20,000 square kilometers of fresh water. Fish in every net. Water for every farm. Grass for every cow. 4 countries shared it: Nigeria, Chad, Niger, and Cameroon. The lake kept the land green. And green land means cool air, rain, and food. Today, that lake is nearly gone. Shrunk to 1/10 of its old size. Fishing villages have turned to dust. Farmers and herders fight over empty land. Young men with no work join armed groups. 30 million people are suffering right now. And the world watched for decades. Did nothing. But now something has changed. By 2050, Africa will have 2 billion people. 2 billion. That is 500 million more than today. Every one of them needs food. Where will it come from? Africa already imports over $60 billion of food every year. Climate change is burning up farmland. The Sahara is spreading. Without water, you cannot grow food. It is that simple. That is why the world is finally paying attention. Not because they care more. Because they are scared. Hungry people move. Moving people shake borders. A dry Africa is a dangerous Africa. But here is the truth. Only one country on earth has shown real interest in saving Lake Chad. Only one country has the money, the engineering, and the willingness to build something this big. China. Chinese companies have already discussed the project. Power China, one of the largest engineering firms in the world, has looked at the plans. Italy offered to pay for studies. But China has the power to actually build. The project is called Transaqua. A canal 2,400 kilometers long. From the Congo River, which carries more fresh water than almost any river on earth, up to Lake Chad. Only 5 to 8% of the Congo's water would be taken. The rest flows to the ocean. The rainforest stays wet. The river stays mighty. But Lake Chad comes back to life. Fishing returns. Farming returns. Peace returns. And here is the number that matters. A restored Lake Chad could help feed 500 million people. That is 1 out of every 4 Africans by 2050. No other project on the continent comes close to that impact. So why has nothing been built? Because the West talks. The West holds conferences. The West writes reports. But the West does not build big things anymore. Not in Africa. Not for Africa. The Suez Canal was built by Europeans for trade. The Aswan Dam was built by the Soviet Union. The new roads and railways across Africa today are mostly built by China. China understands something the West has forgotten. Infrastructure changes lives. Water changes everything. A green earth is a livable earth. A dry earth is a dying earth. China has the engineers. China has the steel. China has the money. And China has shown interest. But China will not act alone. The African countries around Lake Chad must unite. Nigeria, Chad, Niger, and Cameroon. They must speak with one voice. Not begging. Not waiting. Requesting. requesting China to lead. For the sake of humanity. Because no other country has the will. The United States is busy with itself. Europe is tired and divided. The rich Gulf nations have their own water problems. Only China has both the capability and the strategic interest in a stable, fed, green Africa. This is not about politics. This is not about debt or influence. This is about 30 million people suffering today. And 500 million people who will need food tomorrow. If Africa waits for the West to act, the lake will be completely gone. And once it is gone, bringing it back becomes nearly impossible. So here is what needs to happen. The African Union must make Lake Chad a continental emergency. The 4 countries must sign a unified request to China. Not a lone request. A partnership request. Led this project for the good of all humanity. China has built railways across the Sahara. China has built ports on the Indian Ocean. China can build a canal to save a lake. Lake Chad can rise again. But only if someone builds it. Only if someone leads. The West will not. China might. But only if Africa asks. Loudly. Together. Now. Because the future is coming whether we are ready or not. 2 billion Africans will be here by 2050. They will need food. They will need water. They will need hope. Lake Chad can provide all 3. But the window is closing. Every year of delay means more hunger. More conflict. More death. China has shown interest. Now Africa must unite and say, lead this. For the lake. For the people. For the future. Now here is what you can do. Share this message. Because the only reason this project has not happened yet is that people do not know. African people do not know what is possible. African people do not know that China is ready. African people do not know that the lake can be saved. Awareness is everything. When people know, they demand. When people demand, leaders act. So share this. Let every African hear it. Let the governments of Nigeria, Chad, Niger, and Cameroon feel the pressure. Let the African Union hear the voice of its people. And when you have listened to this, do one more thing. Comment like. Comment like you want the lake to rise. Comment like you want food for 500 million people. Comment like you believe Africa can unite and ask China to lead. Comment like the future depends on it. Because it does.